on poor circulation. There was also some questions on diabetes. So today, one of the things we're going to discuss is actually a situation that affects so many persons, and that is the issue of digestive problems. A lot of persons have serious problems with their digestion. You know, some persons actually has things like acid reflux and those type of things. So it usually sometimes is very problematic for individuals. You know, they have a lot of burning, they can't eat properly. In some instances, you know, they actually have to actually change up some of their meals and that type of thing. So that's what we're going to discuss today. And we will actually ensure that, you know, persons really understand, you know, what is acid reflux. So acid reflux, or what is sometimes referred to as GERD, which is gastrointestinal reflux disease, is actually a situation where you have stomach acid regurgitating or coming back up in the esophagus and causing a lot of discomfort, a lot of burning. You know, some instances you may have serious problems with flatulence, a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, a lot of belching. And in some cases, you could have persons to the point where they actually also have constipation associated with that. And of course, constipation is when you do not have bowel movement, at least within every 24 hours. I mean, if you was to really give a definition of what constipation is, once you're having 3 meals, you know, you should have anywhere between 1 to 2 to maybe 3 bowel movements for the day. If you're not having that and you find that 2 days would pass or 3 days or 4 days, well, you know, that of course is an indication of some serious problems that if it's not dealt with properly, it can actually exacerbate later on. So, of course, the question is, what do we at Batson and Associates really do to address that? You know, do we have any specific treatment protocols? Of course, the answer is yes. Usually, when they deal with acid reflux, you normally recommended acid blockers. The interesting thing with that is that a lot of the times your problem is not too much acid. A lot of times, sometimes the problem is not enough acid or not enough balance in the gastrointestinal system. And then that situation where you have this stomach acid that is actually coming back up in the esophagus. Remember, your esophagus wasn't designed to deal with that severity of acid. So obviously, it's going to interfere with the cell membranes, cause burning, irritation, severe pain, numbness, nausea. A number of things usually accompany an acid reflux attack or an acid reflux episode. So much so that even when you go to the hospital, some doctors actually check for heart attacks because of how severe the pain is. So one of the things we actually do at Batson and Associates is something called a live nutritional blood cell analysis. Now, what that will do for us, it would actually be able to give us an indication of how well your food actually digests. Because an individual who has acid reflux, that burning, bloating, gas, those type of things, they would not necessarily have proper digestion. And of course, we'll expand on that a little later on. Do we have any questions at this moment, Samantha?
What I would do is remind people of the hotline numbers, which are 627-3223, 627-3223, and 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical questions, if you have one for Dr. Jason Batson, to 306-1065, which is our WhatsApp, 306-1065. Dr. Batson?
Definitely. And let me, of course, remind you of our clinic locations and those numbers. For the location in Chaguanas, that is the Montrose Main Road in Chaguanas. That telephone number is 333-8261. That's 333-8261. For Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And that Debe clinic is located on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. St. James is located at the Red Edge Mall. That is Western Main Road, St. James. And that telephone number is 220-8113. Again, that's 220-8113. And Tobago, of course, is in the Triangle Building. That's in Scarborough, Tobago. And that number is 226. That's 226-4553. 226-4553. So when we're speaking about acid reflux and burning and indigestion and constipation, all those are basically imbalances of the gastrointestinal system. Now, your gastrointestinal system comprises a number of things. It comprises your mouth, tongue, teeth, saliva, all those things are esophagus, small and large intestines, all those things actually will cause serious problems with acid reflux. So when you have imbalances in that system, it means that somewhere in the system, some things need adjusting. Now, one of the things we carry at Batson Associates is a product called Digestive Balance. And that product was actually designed specifically for persons with the issue that we're speaking about. Because a lot of the times you find, because the pH is not as balanced as it's supposed to be in the gut, you're going to have serious issues. Because you have to understand that pH, which is an acronym for percentage hydrogen, has a lot to do with the health of the human body. For example, the pH of your mouth is acidic, which is what, 6.4. On that scale, 7 is neutral, and then anything after 7 is alkaline. So your blood, for example, has a pH of 7.3 something, which is, of course, slightly alkaline. So the point I'm making is that a lot of the times when you have imbalances in the body, it is as a result of pH imbalances in the intestine. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of persons have this burning sensation, this acid reflux, some cases of nausea. There are some persons who would have instances where their food is not staying down. You would eat and you have this funny sensation, and then you're actually regurgitating the food. That happens to persons. You also have the situation where some persons always have a bitter taste in their mouth, or you find you have a sort of metal taste in your mouth. All of these are indications of alkaline acidity imbalance or pH imbalance in the intestine that, of course, needs to be addressed. So you can always get some more information. There are 2 products that we carry primarily. Well, 3. We actually have Gastro Tea, which is a tea specifically designed for acid reflux issues, where it actually helps to soothe the intestines, help in terms of bringing back the natural balance as it relates to the probiotic in the intestines. We also carry a product called Digestive Balance and Digestive Restore. Both of those are capsules, vegetarian gelatin capsules. However, the difference with Digestive Balance has enzymes as well as probiotics and prebiotics, whereas the Digestive Restore is for people who have serious gut problems. So if you have problems with maybe irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease, by the way, next week we'll be discussing those issues of inflammatory bowel conditions, because this issue that we're discussing currently, which is acid reflux, if it is left unchecked and it actually exacerbates or gets worse, it can reach the point of actually causing things like irritable bowel syndrome, or what is referred to as IBS, Crohn's, diverticulitis, a number of imbalances in the intestine. So that's something to pay attention to. Let me, of course, say a pleasant good afternoon to our social media listeners. We are live on Facebook. On Facebook, we are Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. So you can call, get the information. We also carry a product by the name of Santulan. And you can always follow us on social media, and you will actually get more information on who we are, the services, the products that we have. A lot of testimonies there as well, from some very satisfied individuals. Because, as I said, when you have a digestive problem, you're in store for a lot of issues. Because when you look at statistics, especially cancer statistics, regardless of the type of cancer, especially people who have things like colorectal, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, a lot of those cancers have been linked to serious imbalances in the gastrointestinal system, simply because 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. And if that system is not healthy, obviously that 70% of your immune system has been compromised. We don't know how much per se, but it is compromised, and that in itself, of course, would put you in a situation where it is easier for you to actually end up as a cancer patient or developing cancer. A lot of persons do not know that. So that's something that you need to pay very close attention to. And of course, those telephone numbers, again, for the Shogunas office, that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe would be 223-7515. That's 223-7515. That office is located on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. And of course, Shogunas is on the main road. That's Western Main Road. I believe it's 182 Montrose Main Road, Shogunas. So very easy to find. You can always put it in Waves. you could always check Google Maps rather, and you will actually see those as well. Any questions, Samantha?
Yes, we do have one that comes up via WhatsApp. The person is explaining that they think they may have acid reflux. They get a burning in their chest, and that someone suggested to them that they stop eating protein and try consuming fruits. Is this accurate?
The thing is, the possibility exists, depends on the symptomology, that it possibly could be some sort of acid reflux situation, because you have different varying degrees of acid reflux. As it relates to the recommendation, not necessarily. What a lot of persons have to understand, when you have stomach problems, even fruits could aggravate your stomach, because of course we know some fruits tend to, especially citrus, because of the citric acid. Even though citric acid has an alkaline effect on the body, you need to be careful depending on the amount of acid that you actually have in the system. Because some people suffer from something known as gout, which is excess uric acid, which usually settles in the joints. Some people suffer from what is known as lactic acidosis, which is buildup of lactic acid in the body. So the thing is, you have acid, but you even have different types of acid. So what I would suggest as it relates to the diet, you want to take processed meat out of the diet. So things like sausages and bacon and those type of things, give that a rest. Cold water is something you should not use at all, because cold water further impedes or actually slows down your digestive system. You're looking at hot teas, primarily, no milk, no sugar. As I said, there's a gastro tea that we carry at Batson & Associates, very effective product for that acid reflux situation. Santulan is also a very good fit for that as well, because Santulan is a tea, but it's a 7-channel detox tea. So it cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. One of the things it actually does is clean the esophagus, the lining of the esophagus, especially because a lot of people actually have a lot of buildup on the intestinal walls, on the esophagus, and those buildups could actually interfere with the way your body actually assimilates or digests your food. So because of that situation, you know, that's some of the things that you need to watch. So I wouldn't say stop protein completely, but the type of protein, you can use eggs. Your meals should be more steam, grill, bake. You should try and leave out foods with oils, fried foods, and acid reflux in your stomach don't get along at all. That is a serious issue. You're going to have pain for days, maybe months, if it is you consume a lot of fried things. So you know what I'm talking about, things like the pies and the doubles and those type. You need to ease those things up for a while, things like fried chicken, all those fried. Once you deal with fried foods, out. And because those things actually exacerbate or aggravate the lining of the intestines and further contribute to that problem. So those are some of the recommendations. You could look at baking soda is also a good fit. The only thing with baking soda, you just need to be careful if you are hypertensive. And baking soda, primarily, you're looking at a half teaspoon and 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning. And a hypertensive person could use a half teaspoon, just use a proper measuring teaspoon. And, contrary to popular belief, the small spoon in your kitchen is not a teaspoon. So get a proper measuring teaspoon, because if you use your other spoon, of course, you'll be taking more than you should, right? And even the alkagen water that we carry at Batson & Associates, that's also a good recommendation there as well. So there are a number of things that you could use, but from the dietary perspective, the home perspective, you want to take out some of those, even some of the juices, soft drinks, leave that out for a while, because soft drink has CO2 in it, which means it interferes with the lining of your intestine. So you're going to end up with some problems. It's also very acidic as well. Coffee too, that's something you would have to pay attention to if you have a stomach problems and a problem rather. And once you correct those things and you start to feel better, then of course, maybe in between, you could use a little discussion and, maybe use some of those things. But as of for now, definitely out of the diet. Okay. Let me just give you a reminder for our clinic days. Our open clinic day in Chaguanas is Monday to Saturday. That means you don't necessarily have to have an appointment. But of course, we just suggest you call so that your name will be listed and they will give you the appropriate time to come in, so that your wait, wouldn't be too long. Because of course we have a lot of persons we'll be dealing with, so we want to ensure that we schedule you accordingly, so that we lessen the inconvenience of the waits. All right. Again, those telephone numbers for Chaguanas would be 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And the Debe office is 223-7515. Again, that's 223-7515. And that office is on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe, Chaguanas is on the main road in Montrose, 182 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Over to you.
And again, if you have a medical question that you would like answered by Dr. Jason Batson, do call us right now at 627-3223, 627-3223, and 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical question via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. And we do have a WhatsApp, and it says, "Good day, Dr. Batson. I am having problems. I have a neck pain since the beginning of January. How do I ease it?"
You got neck pain. I mean, to begin with, it depends on the severity of the pain. Well, if you had it in January, I would imagine it's not an emergency where you're immobile or the pain is so severe. I mean, if, however, you may be someone with a high pain threshold and you're accustomed to pain and you're not paying attention to it, then you should seek some sort of scan. If depending on how bad it is, you may need to do maybe an MRI or an ultrasound of maybe the cerebral aspect of the spine. A lot of people, when you're dealing with neck pain and neck discomfort, usually has to do with the cerebral aspect of the spine, the cervical aspect of the spine, sorry. So you're looking at anywhere between C1 to C7. So some people may have compression on disc. Some people may have what is known as cervical spondylosis, where you have some you have some rubbing there, and there is not enough cushioning that synovial fluid and those various tissue that would normally separate the spine and acts as a cushion. Some people, those things start to deteriorate because of normal aging. Some people may be depending on the type of job you have. You may be lifting up a lot of things. You may be someone who maybe used to be typing, so your neck used to be down, looking down. So a number of things could cause that situation. My advice is, if it is very painful and it is severe, then some sort of scan should be done, whether it's an ultrasound, whether it's an MRI, whether it's a CT scan, depending on the severity of the pain or the length of time that you may have had it. And then we could do some, give you some advice there. What we offer at Batson and Associates can also be of key help, because with the blood analysis, we're actually able to see your musculoskeletal health, in the sense that, remember, your bones are comprised of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. It is in the form of calcium phosphate. However, what a lot of people tend to forget is that your bones are the warehouses for calcium. It stores calcium. And what your body does is your thyroid controls how much calcium leaves your bones to get into your bloodstream at any given point in time, because your body always has to be, trying to maintain homeostasis or balance as regards to balancing the alkalinity and acidity in the body. The most readily available alkaline in the body is calcium, and calcium, as I said, is formed in your bones. So anyone who has a serious acid problem or serious acidity problem usually has bone problems. So they may have things like osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, cervical spondylosis, sciatica, any of those spinal problems. And as we on this topic, you need to pay very close attention to your back. Most people have back pain. It is quite unfortunate that a lot of persons who have back pain don't realize how easy the back pain is to solve. The problem is, a lot of times you're looking for answers in the wrong places, because you have to understand that the health of your bones, your bones and all the cells in your bones require proper nutrition. And proper nutrition has to do with a number of things. You hear people talking about magnesium. You hear speaking about calcium. You hear speaking about phosphorus, D3. You hear people talking about glucosamine. They're talking about chondroitin. But how do you now bring about a balance as regards to what you may have to use as an individual? And women especially are more prone to have problems with their musculoskeletal system because of pregnancy and because of the hormones that they produce or have in higher amounts as opposed to men. Because women have things like estrogen, progesterone in the amount that they have it in, and because they bear children, you find it is very easy for them to lose bone mass and bone density, even especially during menopause and those type of things. So to women or females tend to always be a little more careful when they're dealing with the musculoskeletal system. And as I said, one of the points I was making at Batson Associates, when we do the live blood analysis, there's something we do in the dry blood known as biological terrain. And when you look at that sample, we could tell easily if it is you have an osteoporosis problem. There are a lot of people walking around there, especially seniors, who have very low bone density. Hence the reason why when they fall, you find they have to do knee replacement surgery and they have to do hip replacement surgery because the bones are so hollow that the damage is very easy. So, if you know someone in that situation and they want to avoid that, definitely Batson Associates is the place that we could deal with that for you naturally, where you could actually bring back up your bone density and strengthen or re-strengthen, for want of a better expression, those bones. So again, very quickly, those telephone numbers for Shagonas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Debbie is 223-7515. Again, 223-7515. Samantha?
And again, if you have any questions that you would like answered live on air by Dr. Batson of Batson and Associates, do call us right now at 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send your medical question via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. And we do have a caller. Hello and welcome to Freedom. Good day.
I have a question for the doctor.
Yes, sir.
Doc, I have acid reflux. Why I say that is because sometimes at night you will feel the acid coming up in your throat 3 hours in the morning and that type of thing. I was told that I also use the baking soda.
Right.
But is that a temporary relief?
Okay, good question. Okay, so you can listen off here and I'll answer you to soon. All right. It depends. The thing is, baking soda would help to an extent, but it would be temporary in the sense that if persons may not be guided properly as regards to, like for example, someone on the Facebook chat is asking if it is a good thing to eat and drink simultaneously. And that's actually a very bad habit, and that's one of the habits that actually contribute to acid reflux. You're not supposed to eat and drink simultaneously. Ideally, you should have a cup of hot tea maybe 30 minutes before your meal, and in an ideal world, and then of course you have your meals 30 minutes after, and then you can take a little bit of water to have your supplements, that type of thing. That's what the person was asking. But not necessarily drink this large volume of water. The thing is, eating and drinking simultaneously with other beverages even worse. So people who drink juice and soft drink and even alcohol with food, well, that is one of the worst things you could do. You're just lining up yourself for some serious sickness there. So I would say it's temporary, but the possibility exists. There's also something known as hiatus hernia. And a hiatus hernia is what I call a structural problem where you have a shifting in the sternum there, the sternum and the diaphragm. And as a result of that, you end up with what is known as a hiatus hernia, which means the esophagus sphincter, that muscle doesn't close off properly. And as a result of that, you find it is very easy for this acid to come from the stomach and go up into the esophagus. That muscle or that door, as it were, it doesn't close down properly, it remains ajar. And as a result of that, you have acid coming up from the stomach into the esophagus. And that's why the burning is so intense, because as I said, the lining of your esophagus is not designed for stomach acid. That is going to corrode. That, remember, acid in that aspect of the body is going to be very corrosive, and it actually causes serious problems. Another thing people need to pay very close attention to is ulcers. Stomach ulcers, and because all these things are actually linked to them. Now, the thing is, if you have stomach ulcers, you're in a real serious situation. But one of the things you can actually do most of the time is when you have ulcers, it could usually be caused by not eating on time. Having bad food combinations is also a thing. A lot of people talk about protein with carbohydrates, and but the thing is, if you're having fruits by itself. You're not supposed to mix fruits with protein. So you need to be very careful. And then some people's stomach tend to be a little more sensitive than others. Excuse me. And as a result of that, you find they may be a little more susceptible to issues. So it's very important. Even eating on time is also a very big thing. If it is for some reason you miss meals, because we know a lot of us sometimes we're very busy, we have very busy schedules, and you're not able to fit your meal in the time you're supposed to. Okay, what you need to do is basically be able to have a hot beverage before. So let's say, for example, you didn't get to eat for the entire day. You're busy on the road, you're field work or something like that. It would be quite improper to have a meal just like that when you go home at night. You're going to be in some problems. Excuse me. What you're going to have to do is drink maybe a 16 ounce to 20 ounce cup of hot tea, no milk, no sugar. You give yourself maybe about 30 minutes, and then you have some sort of meal. And still, you don't want to eat too much, too heavy in the night. All those things significantly interfere with your digestive system and could later on lead to things like, as I said, inflammatory bowel conditions, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, those type of things. Okay. No, I'm good, thanks. Over to you, Samantha.
Batson and Associates provide alternative, natural, and integrated services and programs for individuals who choose to address various health issues and ailments such as weight loss, diabetes, acid reflux, constipation, cardiovascular disease, arthritis, and much more. And if you have a question for Dr. Batson, you can call us right now at 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also send a message via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. Dr. Batson, we do have a question via WhatsApp. This person is asking if there is any, if you have any advice for thinning hair. She's in her mid-40s and she used to dye her hair in her 30s.
Okay. Well, the thing is, when you have, I always tell people if you want to have very nice thick hair, it starts from inside out, apart from the application as regards to what you physically put on your hair. I mean, in terms of like the types of shampoos you use, the type of conditioners, those type of things. So from the internal aspect, you need to, again, look at your digestion, because that's actually a big thing, which is why I decided to speak about digestion today, because a lot of the times you may be eating well enough. You may be eating quite good. You're eating you have your complex carbohydrates, so you're having your provisions, you're eating your vegetables, you're having your fruits, you may be using things like quinoa, you're using superfoods like wheatgrass, spirulina. So you may be on the right track. What might be wrong is that your food, your assimilation is questionable. Yeah, a wise man once said, to eat is human, but to digest is divine. So a lot of people, they eat, but they do not digest their food properly. You take vitamins, and you're essentially wasting your money, because it's not that supplements aren't good. I am one of the biggest advocates of supplementation, because we need it. The thing is, are you getting proper assimilation? And proper assimilation is dictated by a number of things. One, when was the last time you took a detox? Because if you're not taking detoxes within specific periods of time, you're going to end up in problems. It means that your assimilation is compromised. Think about it. We have what, 365 and what, a piece a day in the year, right? You brush your teeth on a daily basis, more than once. Some of us, you brush your teeth 3-4 times, depending on how much you eat, whatever the case may be. You will floss, whatever the case may be. The point I'm making is that your teeth is basically exposed. Your teeth, because your mouth, I mean, only when your mouth closed, your teeth not getting any, So the point I'm making, that is exposed, and you have to brush that 3 times for the day. When you go to the dentist, you would go to the dentist maybe every 4 months, or some people go twice for the year, and you see for yourself what comes out of your mouth. So imagine your intestines now, which is covered, you don't see it, that is inside. And imagine the meals that you would have eaten for the day. Let's say you have 3 meals every day, and you have 365 days in the year. That's over 1,000 meals, right? Where those meals pass? Through the alimentary canal, went through your mouth, through your alimentary canal. So the thing is, what do you think going on inside of there? You're going to have some gunk stick up on the walls. You're going to have... Think about when you buy a kettle. Have a look at the bottom of your kettle. It usually has a lot of that white scale that remains, and that's because of different minerals, the chlorine in the water, that type of thing. So the point I'm making, think about what you eat on a daily basis and multiply that by the year, and then multiply that by 10 years. And imagine all those things pass through your alimentary canal, and you did not take a detox. Food for thought, right? And that is why there is something known as auto-intoxication. Prefix auto stands for self, intoxication means poison. So there are a lot of people walking around. Your body is literally poisoning itself because you never took a detox. And that's why Santulan is a product that we have that we never have enough of. Because Santulan is a 7-channel detox. It cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. You could always check out our page on Facebook and you can see the information. You can see the ingredient profile, testimonies like that. Because what it does is it actually cleans the same lining of your esophagus and it cleans your stomach. So once you're doing that, and the good thing about it is not only a colon cleanse or a colon detox, but it deals with kidney, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. That's all your channels of elimination. So obviously, people, for example, who have headaches, there are some people who suffer from migraines. I tell people migraines is just a makeup word for headache. If you have headaches for years, something is wrong with you and you're not doing the correct thing. I guarantee is a word that I do not use, but I am telling you, if you have headaches for years, you give Batson and Associates a try and he'll tell me you don't have any headaches again. Because there's a reason why you have headaches. Headaches are usually caused as a result of dehydration, not sufficient water in the diet, and it also is caused by auto-intoxication. So when people tell you they have cluster headaches and they have migraine headaches and there's some fancy name for headaches now, the problem is you have rubbish toxins inside of you that once they're there, they're going to cause problems. And then some people actually have pathogens, which are either bacteria, virus, fungus, protozoa, or worms. The thing is, a lot of us may not necessarily have worms, like tapeworms and that kind of thing. Fortunately, some people have and they don't know. But a lot of people have yeast. What is yeast? Yeast is candida. Yeast is a fungus. Now, the thing with yeast, and research has shown this, people have something known as systemic candidiasis. And that is something I could see, or we could see when we do our blood analysis. You actually see it on the blood cells. When you have that, that is actually responsible for over 40,000 diseases. So you could imagine that. So a lot of times when people have diabetes, they have lactic acidosis, that is acid reflux, they have burning, their hair falling, thinning hair. It has nothing to do with your hair, it has nothing to do with your stomach. No, sorry, it has nothing to do with your nails or anything like that, but it has to do with your intestines. And a lot of people don't understand that. Your colon is the most important organ in your body. Your colon is more important than your brain. That's to tell you how important that is. And the most important organ system in the body is your gastrointestinal system. Why? It is responsible for 2 key functions of the body: the digestion or assimilation of your food and the removal, the proper removal and elimination of waste. Once those 2 things are not working properly, you can never be healthy. And you're now open to a number of diseases, especially cancer. Do your research. You look at anybody with cancer, check the intestines, poor condition. Poor condition. So with that being said, if you really want to be healthier, you're sick for years, because it's amazed me when people say, well, I have diabetes for 15 years. No. You know how much thing you could have done in 15 years? Why are you sick for 15 years? What you're doing wrong? Something is wrong. The only people who do the same thing over and over expecting a different result is what people? Albert Einstein said it best. Mad people. That is the height of insanity. So you're eating the same thing. You're drinking the same thing. You're not doing the same exercise, or you're not doing exercise, and you expect to get better. You want your diabetes to go. You want your blood pressure to read better. You want your kidney to be healthier. No. You have to change what you're doing. Something is wrong somewhere. And that is where Batson and Associates comes in, because what we do is integrated medicine. It's not a plaster pass-off. If you want, you could go and get Nexium anyway. No? You could go and buy Nexium, you could go and buy Pantecta or Omeprazole. The list, the whole list. Nexium mightn't work with you. You might want some Pantecta. Pantecta mightn't work for you. But no, why are you taking acid blockers? Your problem is not acid. Your problem is your digestive system has been compromised. And if you don't fix it, check anybody who have problems with acid reflux for years. Look at the history later down. Or look at the history, acid reflux. Then from acid reflux, they go to diabetes. Then they have something else. You add some things. And next thing is because they tell you they have Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome or something like that. And then they want to give you steroids to take now to reduce the inflammatory response. So you have to understand, you have to fix the root cause of the problem. What is the condition of your intestines? And that is what Batson Associates could tell you. We could tell you the condition of your intestines, tell you what you need to do to fix it, and fix it. So let me give you those telephone numbers again. For the Shoguna's office, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. For Debe is 7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is the Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road. St. James, that number is 220-8113, 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Again, 226-4553. Samantha?
And we do have a caller. Hello and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
I'm
sir.
speaking to you, and I bought a fry green banana this morning. It's like it's 2 tomatoes, 3/4 ripe, with good onion, red garlic, with pepper to taste. I love my tomato. Tomato, has any effect anybody? Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. No, tomato is actually a very good thing. I eat tomatoes just like that. The only people who would have problems with tomatoes is persons who may have who may again have the problem that we're discussing, because some people like that, certain things will bother them, like onions, tomatoes, sweet peppers, that type of thing. But generally, if you are healthy or have a healthy gut, it shouldn't bother you. Now, there is someone asked the question about leaky guts, and I'm glad they asked about that. I could always discuss that next program, because I would be discussing things like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, and those inflammatory bowel conditions. But leaky gut is actually something that we have known about for years. The thing is, the small intestines has the most amount of assimilation, but your small intestines is a semi-permeable membrane. So in other words, your small intestines is a strainer. Now, the thing with strainers is that if your strainer gets a hole that's not supposed to be there, what's going to happen? If you make lime juice and you try to strain it, you end up with seeds inside of the juice, and they have no right to be there. The same applies to intestines. When you have leaky gut syndrome, it means the holes in the intestine are larger than they're supposed to. So pathogens, which would either be bacteria, fungus, protozoa, worms, would actually leave the intestinal wall and go into the blood. And once it goes into your bloodstream, it can get anywhere. And that's actually how people get rheumatoid arthritis. A lot of people do not know that rheumatoid arthritis is parasites in your bones. How did the parasite get into your bones? When it went into your bloodstream, and anything that is in your bloodstream is going to get in any part of the body. You could do some research. There's a disease known as toxoplasmosis. And toxoplasmosis is a disease where a parasitic worm would leave the intestine. Now, not everybody have this particular worm, but some people would have it. And what it does, it leaves the intestine, burrows through the wall, and it actually finds its way nowhere else but in your brain, and decides to devour the tissue to the back of the eyes. Now, all pathogens or different type of worms, as it were, or these parasites actually have the ability, they like specific type of tissue. So some like to go to your bones, some like your intestines, some like your muscles. There's actually something known as Chagas disease, and that is when parasites actually leave the intestines and it actually eats or consumes the wall or the myocardium, the wall of your heart. So that's just to tell you that, when you have these fellas here, and they're going to eat. All living organisms do primarily two things. They eat and they excrete. So imagine you do not have hundreds, you don't have thousands, you don't have millions, but you have in some cases billions and in some cases trillions of pathogens in the body, especially if you have yeast. Candida, when women experience yeast infections, that is just an exacerbated form of the yeast in one particular part of the body, and that's primarily because of the way women are designed. Men have yeast infection too, but it doesn't manifest itself the same way. Once you have dandruff, you have fungus in your nails, fungus in your toes. Those are always telltale signs. If you have this thing, lota, it have some real terrible looking lota, the black one that is raised. And some people say, I have that since I was a child. Well, you have parasites since you were a child. And you're an adult and it's still there. Those are always indicators of gastrointestinal health. People who have problems with the skin, psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, lichen planus, all those issues are as a result of a compromised gut. Very, very important. So that's something to pay attention to. Keep in mind, we do have that special going with our live nutritional blood cell analysis. And I mean, when you do a blood analysis with our trained consultants, let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Rene Bustamante, and the other hardworking team members, at Batson Associates. But those consultants will actually do your blood analysis and give you a ball-by-ball explanation. You're going to see everything. Take my advice. It is an experience, because it is now participative, where you actually understand what is wrong with you. How many people sick and don't know what's wrong with them? There are plenty of people walk around and sick and they don't know why you're sick. And that to me is inexcusable. I cannot be sick for years and don't know why I'm sick. And most importantly, don't know how to get better. That doesn't make any sense. So why we have doctors? That make no sense. So with that being said, those telephone numbers, you can give us a call. The Shogunus number again is 222-8261. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon again to our social media. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. We are Batson and Associates TT on Instagram, and on YouTube we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And keep in mind, there are other programs that we usually have, and we would do lives. So you have access to all the lives that we would have done. So you have information there. Go dig up, do some research, satisfy your mind, and decide to give us a visit. Those telephone numbers again, you can get us on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. Samantha, to you, I don't know if we have any questions that we could take one quick again, or just let me.
We may be able to squeeze in this one. The person says, "Good day, Dr. Batson. I started on the Santulan last week. I am feeling the difference in my body. However, I am having diarrhea when I take it. What do I do?"
Okay, very good question. So quickly, so if you're using the Santulan, sometimes different strokes for different folks. So normally we recommend an 8-ounce glass or a 16-ounce glass. Now, if it is you're using an 8-ounce glass every day and you find you're experiencing that, just half the glass. So instead of using an 8-ounce, use 4 ounces and top it up with water. And you could do that every day. If it's still, you find it's a little too much, then you have it every other day. Different people, different, because there are some clients we get, especially people who, heavy set and they want to lose weight, they have very big stomachs. Some cases they would use the Santulan and they would have to use like maybe a 16 or a 20-ounce glass. So it depends on the individual. Some people may be smaller in frame and stature, and they may not necessarily be meat eaters. So as a result of that, you may not have a large amount of buildup. So it's always good to test it. So in that case, I would suggest you half the dosage, and you should be okay where that is concerned.
Thank you very much, Dr. Batson. So we will be hearing from you again next week, Thursday.
Yes, definitely. So very quickly, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless, and do enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Samantha, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be in your company. Until next week's God's willing. Take care.
Thank you very much, Dr. Batson. And that was our special health segment.
Yes, Facebook. So, persons, you all got it there. Let me see. Yes.
I'll follow up the questions.
Yeah, because
First question. I'm up on the screen now with a lady who's 60. She said she's 60. No, she's 50, 56.
Mm-hmm.
Up on the screen there. Right, thanks.
Ooh. Miss Cecilia Edan. She said, "Dr. Batson, I'm 56 years now, and I have had terrible headaches from the age of 11 years, and no doctor could diagnose. I need to come back. I usually have it 2 or 3 times a year. It feels like an electric shock every 10 seconds and lasts for 3 days. My God. That's the only time I take painkillers, Voltaren. For the past 2 years, it lasts for 5 days. What do you think is the cause of this headache? Can it be stress?" Well, the thing is, it could be. Is it that stress is the what do we call it? But the trigger? The possibility exists, but I don't feel is that. I believe you have a problem where you could have had TIAs. TIAs are transient ischemic attacks, which are mini strokes. A lot of people who have headaches, they confuse. They usually are people who have problems where they have blood circulation issues in the brain, and as a result of those blood circulation issues, they can actually end up in serious situation where they have had strokes and they're not aware, and it feels like really bad headaches. So I suggest, I don't know if you're in Trinidad, but I suggest that you may have to do an MRI, or you maybe come visit us at Batson Associates. Let's do the magnetic resonance analysis scan. We actually have some specials coming up in September where we're actually doing the family tree, where we'll be giving a promotion to 3. We'll be doing a promotion for 3 individuals or 3 family members. So if it's a husband, a wife, and a daughter, or your 3 girlfriends, you have 2 friends and they're sick and something or is wrong with them, or they want to know what's wrong with you, there is a special that we're doing at Batson Associates called the Family Tree. Look out for that in September. That is one of the promotions that we're going to do. Working on giving you value for your body, giving you some giving back, because you know it would be a reduced price as to what persons would be accustomed paying, and we'll be able to give you some assistance where that is concerned. But don't sleep on that. That is serious. That is serious. And as I said, the possibility exists you may have had mini strokes and you didn't know. That's something that a lot of people have. Now, because of my timing, I actually have a meeting that I should be in. So what I'm going to do, look forward to our program on Saturday. Yes.
6:05.
6:05, and that is going to be on the Street 91.9. And then, of course, Sunday morning, God's willing, we should be back to our regular scheduled programming, rather, where we will be having our Sky program, and we may have some surprises where that is concerned. So, you know, we haven't forgotten you guys. Always a pleasure to be here. Mr. Ken Scottish is saying that he's not getting through to the Shogunas branch, and he's been calling since last week. Okay, that's a bit concerning. So which number? Keep in mind for the Shogunas office, the 222-8261 number. Sometimes that phone is very busy. So what you can also do, you can try the 314-9975 number. Again, that's 314-9975. And Miss Lucita Jamat asked if we're still starting with shipping abroad. Yes, Miss Jamat, sorry. So you could ask and we will make sure and organize for you. Okay, so as we always say at Batson & Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Remember our special we are having, check out our social media page. We're having a special on Nerve Restore, that products that help with sleep, help with your nerves, that type of thing. And we also have our special on inflammation formula.
Check out our recent testimony that was very compelling.
Oh yeah, and check out our recent testimony. Where is it, Shakil?
On Facebook.
On Facebook. Very compelling testimony. Very impressive. I was so glad for that lady and her daughter. So check it out. Good things all the time. And we look forward to seeing you guys or speaking to you guys on Saturday, please God. God bless and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.